And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome to the public section of Alaska Weather. I'm Eric Holloway with the National Weather Service for October 20th, 2023. A couple options for you. 1-800 number gets you in a phone-driven menu system, and out on the World Wide Web at weather.gov/Alaska. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email us. Taking a look at the weather headlines for today: winter-like conditions along the North Slope and Arctic coast. Heavy freezing spray along that Arctic coast with strong winds up to 35 miles per hour. Snow and blowing snow in many portions, and extends up into the Brooks Range, portions of the Brooks Range. And elevated surf along with those strong winds with minor beach erosion is our highlights for today. For taking a look at the hazardous weather advisory out for portions of the Brooks Range there, and that's for snow and blowing snow, and that extends down into the coastal areas. Otherwise, we do have a blizzard warning, and that's out until Sunday morning along that eastern Arctic coast. But again, advisories out for basically until Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning. So please keep an eye on that. Taking a look at the aviation or satellite data here today, you can see that we have the nice little low pressure system just south of the Alaska Peninsula, driving some rain and snow showers in the higher elevations there of the Alaska Peninsula and into portions of the eastern Aleutians. Otherwise, some snow again along the North Slope and into the Brooks Range. You can see some cloudiness associated with that. And otherwise, some pretty good weather across much of the southern mainland with clear skies again today, and even extending down into the Panhandle. We do have some areas of snow showers there in the northern Panhandle, but otherwise pretty good weather down there as well. For today's weather, 1,035 millibar ridge of high pressure dominates the weather, just sitting just south of the Bering Strait. Otherwise, again, that nice weather extends from that ridge across much of the southern mainland. We have, again, some snow showers across much of the North Slope and Brooks Range, and that extends down into the Seward Peninsula. But otherwise, some lingering snow showers along the northern portions of the Panhandle, and some mixed precipitation across the central portion of that Panhandle as well. And another ridge of high pressure analyzed there in the Gulf of Alaska, 1,024 millibars there. And lastly, a low pressure system just south of Alaska Peninsula, 1,004 millibars there. For tonight's weather, that ridge moves slowly eastward, 1,036 millibars there. Again, expecting some pretty good weather across much of the southern mainland. There might be some aurora borealis opportunities again across much of the southern mainland. Otherwise, lingering snow showers across the North Slope and into the Seward Peninsula, again with that strong onshore flow along the Arctic coast there with that trough. Otherwise, the low just south of Alaska Peninsula continues there with 1,003 millibars and a weak trough, and lingering snow showers along the northern portion of the Panhandle. For Saturday's weather, that ridge continues to be centered over the Norton Sound region, 1,035 millibars there. Again, another day of pretty good weather expected on Saturday for the southern mainland. Again, continued onshore flow along the Arctic coast there, driving some snow showers that extends into the Brooks Range and down into the Seward Peninsula. We can see that next system coming into the Bering Sea. Pretty good, strong southerly flow associated with that system. That low just south of the Alaska Peninsula sinks further south, 1,012 millibars there. And again, another ridge of high pressure in the Gulf of Alaska. For Sunday's weather, cold front moving closer through the Bering Sea, strong southerly winds associated with that system. That'll be coming into the west coast there. We should be seeing some strong winds show up there Sunday, and that'll extend into Monday. We'll be analyzing that and watch for products associated with that system. But otherwise, snow showers will be coming into the west coast there and in portions of the interior. Otherwise, and that extends up through the North Slope. Otherwise, some pretty good weather again across the southern mainland into the Alaska Peninsula. The ridge of high pressure now over the British or Yukon territories. and then some pretty good weather. Offshore flow over the Panhandle, driving some cooler weather over that region. So for low temperatures, looking for Saturday morning, looking at 43 there in Ketchikan, 44 in Sitka, 36 in Juneau, 30 in Yakutat, Valdez, 20, Anchorage, 20. Otherwise, teens across much of the south central region, 11 in McGrath, again for Saturday morning. High temperatures for Saturday afternoon, 49 there in Ketchikan, 46 in Sitka, 38 in Juneau, 38 in Yakutat, Valdez, 31. 30s across south central with 32 in Talkeetna, 33 in Anchorage, 20s and 30s down through from anywhere from McGrath down through Dutch Harbor and King Salmon, 43 in Kodiak. And then for low temperature Sunday morning, looking at 37 there in Ketchikan, 34 in Sitka, otherwise 20s in the northern Panhandle, and 27 in Yakutat. Teens across much of south central with 13 in McGrath, 15 in King Salmon, 29 in Kodiak. And then high temperatures for Sunday afternoon, 45 in Ketchikan, 42 in Sitka, but 30s across Juneau and Haines, and that extends over into Yakutat, 30s across much of the south central region with 33 in Anchorage and 39 in Homer, 43 in Kodiak, but 26 there in McGrath. Then moving into the interior and no slope, looking at, what do we got, 14 there in Fairbanks, 7 in Eagle, Fort Yukon 12, but otherwise a couple single digits along the Brooks Range, 20s along there in Ukqiavik, 21, and then we got 14 in Galena, 11 in Tanana. For high temperatures Saturday afternoon, looking at 20s and upper teens across the interior, 23 in Fairbanks, teens and single digits in the Brooks Range with Anaktuvik Pass at 10, Ukqiavik 23, 20s across much of the Yukon and 30s along the west coast. And then low temperature Sunday morning, looking at 11 for Fairbanks, negative readings across the Brooks Range at Anaktuvik Pass -2, Ukqiavik 18, 17 in Galena, 11 in Tanana, and 30s down along the west coast. Then high temperatures Sunday afternoon, looking at 20s across the interior with 23 in Fairbanks, 19 in Fort Yukon, single digits there in portions of the Brooks Range, 10 in Anaktuvik Pass, 20s in teens along the Arctic coast, 30s along the west coast. Then down through the southwest, Alaska Peninsula, Aleutians for Saturday morning, low temperatures looking at 17 in Bethel, 41 in Cold Bay, 44 in Dutch Harbor, 45 in Shemya, 34 in in St. Paul. And then for high temperatures Saturday afternoon, looking at 29 in Aniak, 40 in much of the Alaska Peninsula and Aleutians. And then for low temperatures Sunday morning, 17 in Aniak, teens across much of the lower Kuskokwim, and then 30s and even 40s down along the Alaska Peninsula and the Aleutians with St. Paul 34. And then for high temperatures Sunday afternoon, looking at 30s through much of the southwest, 40s through the Alaska Peninsula and Aleutians with 51 out there in Shemya, 45 in St. Paul. And then for the CPC 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, with the ridge of high pressure centered over the northern Gulf of Alaska, looking at southerly flow across much of the mainland, driving some warm temperatures. And then we got northerly flow back through much of the Panhandle, driving some cooler temperatures there. So above normal tilts across much of the mainland, below normal tilts across the Panhandle. And then for precipitation, CPC 6 to 10 day, October 26th to October 30th. We're going to have dry tilts of precipitation across the eastern mainland and down through the Panhandle with above normal tilts for precipitation across the North Slope and into the Seward Peninsula.